Welcome to The Cleaning, a podcast about Apple TV show Silo Season 3. My name is Catfish, and with always is joining me with Bubba. Bubba, it's a pleasure to be joined by someone who also hates staff meetings.
Catfish, I am so excited to talk about the silo and to be back in the silo and also be in DC. This is so great. We'll get to go to the great state fair of the capital. Oh, wait a minute.
Absolutely.
No, I bet there's stuff happening on the show.
Absolutely. Bubba, we are talking about Season 3, Episode 1. Who are you? Who? New Mayor Juliette can't remember anything from her time outside or her past. She's trying a very unsuccessful fake it until you make it. Very unsuccessful. But on our pod, Bubba, we've got our ranking of the episodes. We ask better in the silo than our real world. We do an episode breakdown. We have a judicial debate. We ask the catfish questions. We have our classic book talk, Silo Slam, and a deep dive into the book versus a deep dive into the show. Bubba, We've got so much to do. Unlike the show, let's get right to it. Bubba, what is your rating for episode 1 of season 3 of The Silo?
Catfish, I'm going to give this first episode 8 triple S's out of 10.
Right, the triple, what triple S's?
Triple S stands for Stupendous Sims Speech. Okay, y'all, we had a lot of bad stuff happen from Bernard. When I punched you and kicked you and intimidated you, that was from Bernard. And he did the same thing with my wife, Camille. But now we're a great, happy family. Kumbaya, mother. It's me, Robert Sims, great politician. Oh boy, that speech in itself could have a 80-minute breakdown. But guys, I'm going 8 out of 10. For those of you who've been following the cleaning podcast we do here, you know that I have been very tough and I've had some epic rants about some show changes that have been made. I have to be honest, I love that first book, Wool, so much that kind of pushed me to do some rants. The second book, Shift, I think is a really good book. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. But having said that, for me, I think it's the weakest of the 3. I know some people love the second book, Shift, the most. For me, it's the weakest of the 3. But that doesn't take away from this episode. Why? Because there are a lot of positives. The before times in DC, I thought was fascinating. A lot of changes from the books, which we won't go over until the spoiler section. But I was fascinated by it. And Sims and Camille, their relationship of working together, yet seemingly have a shift in power dynamic, I loved it. The stuff that didn't work for me so much was everything in Silo 18 that wasn't The Sims. Juliette's amnesia, this new characters having a conflict between the supply and the mines, Sheriff Billings, not new at all, still being a patsy, that didn't work for me. But even the slow pace, I was okay with. 8 out of 10, that's my rating. So I'm going to come to you. I'm 8 out of 10, and generally, I'm really positive for this to be a start of season 3. What is your rating out of 10 for Who Are You?
Bubba, I gave this episode 6 out of 10, what I like to call double R's.
Double R's?
Yeah, that's resenting Robbins. Why am I resenting Tim Robbins? Because he no longer is involved with this show. And I am. Bubba, I was talking to you last week. You know, we do a lot of podcasts. We've been doing a lot of podcasts lately. We're doing a House of the Dragon right now. And after that, you was like, how do you feel about this Silo? I said, well, you know what? Hey, after what we had last season, there's been a complete paradigm shift.
Yeah.
And so things have no choice but to move. They cannot slow walk this season. Well, Bubba, they decided to give me double birds on this. How? By giving Juliette enforced amnesia. So now we got to go an entire season watching her relearn the things we already know.
Maybe they could
It,
show her a previously on Silo, to get her caught up because we forgot
you
stuff
know
too. I
what?
mean,
Again, not to, well, yes, to absolutely put this up against what they did with House of the Dragon. House of
yeah.
the Dragon, they're like, you know what? This show's been gone a really long time. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna give like a 5 minute recap. Silo's like, we know the show hasn't been around for long. We'll give you like a minute. You figure it out.
Hey,
Oh,
6 out of 10.
so there's 6 out of 10. Bubba,
Yeah.
then they're just giving us like, besides her having to relearn things, they're giving us just what I felt was insufficient grounding inklings of what's going on both in the before times
Oh,
and also with the different factions of the silo.
yeah.
Okay, so we're just getting, they're like, you know what? We love giving you just little dribbles of information. So I've got a whole episode of little dribbles of information.
Yeah.
But someone asked me last week, they're like, well, I've never seen Silo. I'm looking for a new show. Should I watch it? And I said to him, you know what? Silo, great show to watch as long as you can binge it. But
Yeah.
this week by week little dribbling of information, this show, I'm sorry, for me is not suited to a week by week because they just love to give you little bits of information. I usually save my double D's, double K's.
Yeah. Your double D's, double K's. What?
Yeah,
What?
the deeply dumb catfish questions for the end.
Oh,
But
okay.
I've got 5 of them right now, and some of them
Whoa.
aren't that important. But some of them I feel like, why do you announce this, but we don't get as much information?
Okay.
Number one,
One.
well, what was traded for Julia's toy? Number two, why is Sims dissing Julia for what happened in the past when they're the ones dosing her to forget the past? Is it just to make her feel like crap?
Juliette, I hope sometime you can remember that you held my wife and child at gunpoint. And of course, I know you won't be able to because my wife is drugging you. Good work, Juliette.
Number three.
Three.
Now I know there should be a better there. I feel like the answer is in the question,
Yeah.
but who are the outsiders and what do they want? I
What
guess to be outside. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I know they're called the outsiders, but what the heck? Why are the Sims keeping Juliet in the dark? Is it because maybe I got a sense the computer said if all this information gets out, everyone would be destroyed? Is
Yeah.
that the answer to that question?
I think
Okay,
that's
now,
got to be it. That's got to be
now,
it.
Bubba, you definitely don't have the answer to this question.
Sure.
What the hell happened in New Orleans?
Well, I should have the answer, but I was drinking too much at Pat O'Brien's and Jean Lafitte's. And so I can't, and I was dancing on Frenchman Street. So I don't remember what happens in New Orleans. Oh, you mean on the show?
Yeah,
Oh,
in this
okay.
on the show in the
Oh, okay.
past,
Sure.
the big New Orleans thing that he did.
Well, I mean, look, what do you imagine? They have not said, but don't you imagine it's like New Orleans got hit with another Katrina-like hurricane, and he had devised this tunnel system so that the water went into some deep well as opposed to flooding the city. Now, that is a guess, but that based on contextual clues, that's what I would assume. Is that what you
Okay.
assumed?
No,
Oh,
I just assumed it was another thing where they're like, we're just going to give you little bits of information instead of complete information. So
okay.
that I'm going to be like, oh, I have to come back next week so I can find out exactly what happened in New Orleans.
Sure thing. Okay.
Or
Wow.
I can have Julia again figure out something that she figured out last year. I can't, or the first season. I can't wait for us to just completely replay the first season. So
Well,
Bubba,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I don't know why. I felt I just I I'm at a loss for words. I'm so down on this episode. And again, I feel like I've been down on some episodes in the past for being slow. I feel like if you could knock a season out in 2 or 3 days, you'd be completely fine with it.
Yeah.
But but week by week, this show is tough week by week. It is
Cat
tough.
Catfish, this is a big shock because admittedly 9 and 10 of season 2, the last two episodes, It was what I like to call the fireworks factory, and you loved it. You loved that final episode of season 2.
I did.
And it's almost like they've given us reverse medicine. I'm not ranting, you're ranting. I thought, well, that was pretty good. And you're like, oh boy, what a slow dirge. Listeners, we like to say, who cares what we think? We want to know what you think. You've been with us through these first 2 seasons. When we love the show, we celebrate it. When we have problems with the show, you hear just what you heard from Catfish. Oh, hey,
I'm sad, Catfish, right now. I'm so sad.
it's okay. Hey, I know who will cheer you up. I'll have Sims tell you a happy story.
Oh man.
So guys,
Sims.
if you're watching this on YouTube, go down in the comments and tell us what you thought. We're not going to have any spoilers in this video because we've already released a spoiler video on YouTube. In this audio podcast, again, no book spoilers. We're just going to give our thoughts. And so if you want to give your thoughts on social media, know that we're not going to have any spoilers there too. We can't wait to hear from you. We're currently covering House of the Dragon at the same time. This is going to lead us all the way up to season 6 of Slow Horses. We've got Let's Solve Marble Hall Murders coming up in September too. We are going to be packed with podcasts. Please subscribe. There are a lot of great Silo podcasts, but we want you on one that, you know, if it's tough and we have a negative reaction, we'll be honest with you. And when it's great, we're going to be honest with you too. We want you to join us. So Catfish, why don't we play one of our silly games at the beginning to maybe turn your mood around?
Oh, let's just cheer us up.
Okay, so one thing we've done on every podcast is we say, based on this episode, the third season, episode 1, is it better living in the world of the silo on the show, or would you rather be living in the non-silo world we currently live in 2026? Catfish, which is better, in the silo, or is it worse to be in the silo? What says?
Well, you know what? And I want to make this clear. This is in the silo.
Sure.
That's the world of the silo. So it doesn't have to be in the silo itself, in the silo world. Okay. So I want to get this straight.
Okay.
In the silo world, they had what seemed to be a pretty unsuccessful attack of Iran.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is clearly better than a completely counterproductive attack on Iran. So I'm going to say it's better in the silo based on this week.
You know, Catfish, trust me. I've heard from our leaders that this is going to be wrapped up in 2 weeks. They are begging for a deal. But that's in the world of the silo. Senator Thurman was saying. Okay, let's get away from very negative current events and let's get.
Yeah, you know what, Bubba? And I always like to say, we like to keep these podcasts evergreen. So, so I feel like in most cases, I would have to say, look, this is at a time where we haven't completely come to a deal with Iran. But since that's clearly never going to happen, I don't need to make that. I don't need to make a caveat.
Okay. Well, okay. I will agree with you. I believe this was your answer. I will agree. It is better to be in the world of the silo.
Yeah.
Because in the world of the silo, I can get forget-me-now drugs. Don't have to remember any of this stuff. And maybe, Catfish, you would enjoy it if you had one of those drugs and didn't have to remember this episode on the podcast. Catfish, we're going to jump between the before times in DC on the show and Silo 18. Which do you want to tackle first, the before times or Silo 18?
Well, it feels like the before times. I used to like to save what I thought was the most interesting for the end, which for me is the before times. Okay. But since the before times seemed like such a smaller part of the episode, I mean, I would be a lot happier if it was more. But let's cover the before times first. Okay, sure. And let me say, I agree with you. I already said this in my review. I found the before times intriguing. Now, what I'll say about the before times is the show, it doesn't like come up with artistic ways to cut back and forth between the two. But in the end, I found the before times so intriguing. I didn't need like an interesting cut of somebody in Silo 18 saying, "Who are you?" and then cutting to, in the before times Charlotte saying, "Who are you?" Well, even though they're giving it to us slower than I would like in the before times, they're at least in the before times, we're not facing the prospect like we are in the silo of relearning things that were already known. No, this is new information.
That's 100% true. So we start off though in the before times. You're always like, well, what is this? Why? Who am I following? We follow a character we've never seen before. It's Charlotte Keene, even though her brother calls her Charles, but it's Charlotte Keene. She's dressed in like a bomber jacket and a fighter hat, fighter baseball cap, I should say. She looks like she's being followed. She ducks into a hotel, changes her outfit, comes out later. She's on the DC Metro, the subway station in Washington, DC Metro area. And she like jumps on a train. She thinks somebody's following her, so she jumps off. Meanwhile, her brother is calling for donations, and boy, it is not working. And let me say, we don't know, based in the show, how far this is into the future of our real world. But you know what? Politicians really do this. They call you up at odd times. They ask for money.
They have to all the time. For the House of Representatives, they're practically running all the time, only every 2 years. This is a huge part of their day is doing phone banks.
So do you even answer him, Catfish? Could you answer the call to leave a rude comment like this guy did? I don't answer calls if I don't really recognize who it's from. And so
no, I do not. But also we're not the kind of we're not big enough donors to receive calls from an actual candidate, Bubba.
Right. I get text. So I'm not at the official call level. I get a text message.
Yeah, I just want you to know, John Ossoff, I care, but I live all the way across the country.
Catfish, we on other shows, meaning shows that we watch, you have attacked British actors' American accents. This is an actress who we all loved when she appeared on Downton Abbey. Charlotte Keene is doing, this actress, Jessica Brown Findlay, is doing a American accent. What did you think? What did you think of her work? Are you intrigued in her? Hey, brother, did you do all these things to make sure you weren't followed so you could come to this public park? What did you think of her, Charlotte?
Well, I thought she was fine, but once again, she's like, listen, get on the committee. I know things. I'm not going to tell you any of those things. It's just like, please.
You're a civilian. I'm in the military. You're a civilian, brother Daniel.
But I'm coming here to tell you all this stuff. Tell him something.
What? Yeah, you're right. This is interesting. Why not give him a hint? Like, get on the committee so you can find out about blank. No, she doesn't do that at all. And so, well, you didn't mention her accent. Did you notice it at all? I thought
no. It was fine. There was something unusual about her. It was that, but it didn't bug me. I didn't recognize her, so it didn't get on me too much.
Let me ask you this. Charlotte, Charlotte, I almost want to call her Charles, like her brother calls her Charles. Charlotte is another gruff, tough, like even her quote unquote joking ribs of her brother are delivered like with an ice pick to the neck. It's like, flip you the bird. It's more like, no, do it. If our parents were here, they'd be turning over in their graves trying to get out. Like neither of them deliver this with much timing, comedic timing. So, but do you like Daniel? We had seen him at the very end of season 2, episode 10. And now we see him suffering the life of a congressman, having to call for donations and then kind of being ripped by his sister for daring to call it sweet tea instead of iced tea. Do you like these two characters? Because we're going to be following them a lot here in season 2.
Well, I like him because he is he's very likable. I've seen him. He was on Succession, obviously the earlier seasons of Succession. He seems he was likable on The Date last year. He's likable here. I guess the only tie that we could even make really from this to the other one is we've got two people who have amnesia. Is it from the same? No, is it from the same thing?
Yes. Let me tell you, when you fly in Operation Righteous Vengeance, you come back and you don't remember anything. Well, here, let's get to the end of Charlotte's storyline. She has gone up. She is climbing to 50,000 feet. And wait a minute, there shouldn't be a cloud up here. Send in the clouds. That's no cloud. Suddenly, all the fighter jets, the F-35s, I believe they were called, are coming apart. It's like almost turning into liquid in her hand. What in the hell happened, Catfish? Do you think she got the amnesia from that cloud? Or when she comes back and she's put in this, what it was it, the Heidi Stenson clinic, are they giving her the forget me now drugs so that she doesn't remember what happened in
She
Iraq?
doesn't spill the beans.
Yeah, what do you think?
Iran. Yeah, well, I mean that is the question we're going to have to answer. There was definitely something that was very advanced that they flew into. Some of their rockets were exploding early.
Yep.
It felt like the planes themselves were falling apart. I didn't know whether it was the oil was like from the engine braking or something that
Yep.
was coming into the thing, but I didn't feel
Yeah.
like it was like the plane was melting, but it was either breaking up. The real question is, how did she survive this
Yes. No, I
shit?
had the same question. I had the same thing. Like, you don't think it would do to her parachute, to her parachute, the same thing it was doing to the jets? Wonderful question.
It's a great question.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
we will find out. Now, there are two other new characters we met. So his
Hmm.
sister says, "Hey, get on the Iran Commission, get on the Iran Commission." Daniel meets with Senator Thurman, who is apparently the senator from his state of Georgia, and he's just a lowly congressman. And there, the senator also has her daughter, Anna, and they know about him. They're like, yeah, he's the guy who saved New Orleans by replacing levees with holes drilled deep without disturbing the other layers of the ground. And we
Is that what
hear
they said? And I just missed the whole thing altogether?
they did say that, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, good. That's
Okay.
why they're called deeply dumb questions.
Okay, but then Catfish, we get
Mhm.
this thing that we heard at the end of season 2 in the DC section. We hear that Iran set off a dirty bomb in DC, and this is the retaliation. Charlotte's flight was the retaliation. We're going to get those people who set off a dirty bomb. This is a very crazy world. Daniel's only way, he's a brand new congressman. They think, well, how
Yeah,
how should you
junior,
get on the
junior.
right? How should you get on this committee? He got on the committee through sympathy, like, hey, it's my sister who's going to be doing these dangerous bombing raids. And so they let him in. Any thoughts on Senator Thurman or her daughter, who apparently helps write the bills, Anna?
Well, I didn't believe that they would still let him in or
Yeah,
give him any information.
right.
And I guess you could assume if you wanted to, as in other, not only political pot boilers, but also the deep recesses of craziness that exist in this country, that they assumed that it was a false flag
Mhm.
situation and not really Iran.
This would be wonderful to find out. That's certainly, I think, what reporter Helen, who wasn't in this episode, but was there on the date, not a date section at season 2, episode 10, that, yeah, there's a question of was it a dirty bomb? Maybe did they drop one of these clouds on DC and somehow the cloud hurt DC somehow? Remember,
Or it wasn't Iran at all.
exactly right. Exactly right. Remember in season 2, episode 10, he went into the restaurant and they like scanned him before he went into the restaurant. And he said to the guy at the door, he's like, has anybody ever come up positive? And the guy at the door said no. So did a dirty bomb even go off? I mean, these are the questions that theoretically we're going to spend 10 episodes learning in season 3. Get ready. Get ready for some fun times. And hey, why don't we? Anything else you want to say about these DC storyline before we play another game and then get to Silo 18?
No, if if we're gonna slow walk, if we are gonna slow walk what's happening in the silo to
Mhm.
basically catch up to the end of what we knew last year, let's spend as much time as possible in DC. That's all
Oh,
I'm saying.
okay.
That is all I'm saying. I mean, listen. I mean, do you agree with me? What? Tell me. Let's. So I'll do the preamble here. The preamble to what's happening in the silo.
Okay.
What? How much do you want to spend with
You keep calling
Juliette?
her Juliette. Yeah.
Sorry, Juliette. relearning everything from last season.
I don't want to spend any time on it. The time I spent in this episode, to be honest, because the trailers had told me she was going to have amnesia, I was ready for it. Maybe if I hadn't seen the trailers and didn't know she was going to have amnesia, I would be really, really frustrated. But because the trailers gave that away, I was like, okay, they're doing this. And then again, to me, in Silo 18, the only thing that works for me is the possible dynamics between Robert Sims and his wife. So yeah.
And presumably the people who are now fighting the subversives.
Yeah. Well, I want to learn more about them, but we barely learned anything about them in this episode. Yeah.
All right, so let's get on to it. Let's move on to the silo, Bubba.
Okay, so it's been 3 months since Juliette returned, and Sims tells us, this isn't at the beginning of the story, but he tells her that, this furnace, and just so everybody comprehends, because the outside world is toxic, there's this antechamber before you get to the stairs that go outside. They open a door, they let the person out into the stairs when they're going to clean, and then they shut the antechamber, and then they turn it into a furnace to burn away all the toxins. Sims tells us that Juliette was in the antechamber for 3 minutes, and 2.5 of those minutes, there wasn't a bit of oxygen at all in the room. So here she's getting burned, and she doesn't have any oxygen for almost 3 minutes. So this is not good. I suppose that's the outside explanation for why she lost her memory, why she doesn't remember anything. But to me, the biggest thing is that Camille, through the algorithm, is saying Juliette can't remember anything else. She can't come back and say, hey, there's other silos. She can't come back and say, hey, when we sent people out for cleanings, we sent them out with suits that were destined to fall apart and get the toxins in and kill them. And so how Camille and Robert Sims handle this information, because they must have only known it for 3 months, to me, that's where the real drama is. Did you find drama in what ended up really happening with Bernard? Bernard did not die in the furnace in the antechamber. He somehow survived that. He's like, oh, there's my buddy Sims. Sims, I love you. And Sims says, you know what? I've got some saran wrap here. Goodbye, Bernard. Dang. Hey,
again, at a certain point, I really was just envying him.
Envying Bernard for being put out of his misery?
Yes, exactly.
Or Sims for having been
no,
kill some suckers?
No, I was envying Bernard. Be gone.
People love Juliette, even though she's being managed completely by Camille. People love Juliette. She's been elected mayor. She got elected mayor theoretically without campaigning at all. Sims says she was sworn in her hospital bed recovering from the burns. And Sims's speech, I mean, the guy, people are tough on Common, and I'm about to be tough on Common. Common, if you watch interviews, he seems like the nicest guy you ever saw. He's funny, he laughs, he does all this stuff. But when he wanted to be menacing, I thought in Silo he was great. He could do that. I'm not sure he has the range to suddenly be, like, hey, it was time for change, for transparency, for truth. Keyword most, of the cameras that Bernard had installed throughout the silo has been removed.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think he has.
Look, the rest are for your protection. The rest are for your protection, all right, Bubba?
What did you think of Common's performance of this? Now, of course, maybe he's supposed to be bad because Sims has literally been torturing and beating up people for years, but it's all Bernard's fault. Hey, I beat you up, but that was Bernard's fault. Blame the pact. Thank the founders. What is going on, man?
Again, as you said, Common seems like a very decent and good human being. Listen, I compared, when you want to compare rappers acting, my closest comp for him is Ice-T.
Okay, and
who somehow has been on
who wins the award?
Well, I mean, I'm going to have to give it to Common only for the fact that Ice-T has been on a TV show for like 18 years and still seems as if he just started acting.
And you are a hater, Catfish. You are a true hater. Listeners, we've gone a while without asking for your thoughts. We want your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
You love Sims. And you love comment. And let me say, once again, you watch interviews. This guy, I want to be his friend. He really seems cool. He really seems like a good guy. He has a great sense of humor in these interviews, too. But with Sims, it's just not working for me. And we want to know what you think. If you're on YouTube, go down in those comments, set us straight. If you're listening on audio podcast, we're on all social media platforms at Double PHQ. What did you think of this absolute BS reason? So they have to give Juliette a reason. Well, everybody says I went outside. How did I survive? And Camille has to give this terrible, well, apparently outside, even though it's all toxic, there's a refuge hut. Thank the founders. I mean, they couldn't come up with any better story.
That you were able to survive in for, I mean, I know she spent entire last season, but it felt like it was at least a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That seems like a really long time to survive. This is my other question, Bubba, is so people are okay with Juliette as the mayor simply because she came back? Because she certainly doesn't, she's not the same person. You know what I mean? You're like, all right, well, she came back. She seems like kind of a zombie now, but hey, she made it back. So that's good enough for me. Mayor time.
She's got groupies. She's got groupies. And she's also got, this is going to be a weird callback. I believe back in season 1, there was this creepy nurse taking care of a character, I believe named Gloria. And I always thought, boy, that creepy nurse, she's kind of cute. I could fix her. So the evil nurse Amy is back giving these yummy amnesia pills to Juliette. And I see this cute nurse Amy who's completely evil, and I think I could fix her. And it's because I've taken one of the forget-me-nows, and I don't remember how evil she was in previous seasons.
You know, Bubba, I think at this point you don't care.
Wait a minute. Perhaps that vitamin D plus, perhaps the plus is some forget-me-nows they're putting in the water. Yuck. Mm.
Well, how much of this forget-me-not stuff do they have, for God's sakes?
It's a red level relic worth of stuff. But wait, and that red level I could never say it. Red level relics makes me want to talk about the Juliette fangirls who are just crazy. They're trading for stuff for her. And a big, do you remember, Catfish? Way back in season 1, Juliette was so angry because she wanted justice for George. And then she found out her boyfriend, George, who had been killed, but we later learned just let go himself, kind of killed himself. But she found out George had been two-timing her with another woman because he wanted red level relics from this other woman. And the other woman got him the infamous hard drive, which caused all that trouble in the first episode. She got him the Georgia picture book. That woman, who was the red level relic trader, is trading with these kids for the stuffed animal that was Juliette's brother's toy. And she gives them Juliette's sheriff's badge. And so are you excited? Are you excited for this character who, was George's, Sally on the side? Game of Thrones quote there. I don't know why that came up to me. But are you excited to see these callbacks to season 1, Catfish? Or do they need to be on the previously on for you to get them?
I need a good 5-10 minutes for season 2. Forget season 1, Bubba. But I hate to tell you, Bubba, that side piece Sally is hooking up with evil nurse. So you got no shot. No. You got no shot.
Give me a forget me now.
Now here's the question. So how much are they changing? How much have they told? I presume people still don't know that it's pretty much rigged whether you can have a child or not.
Oh, boy, that is a great question. But Catfish, I don't think we as the audience know. I don't think a lot of the people in the silo still understand how much they've been manipulated. And this line, this almost throwaway line about, hey, Sheriff Billings is rewriting the pact to update it for our times, a constitutional amendment, a pact amendment, if you will. Yeah, I don't think people realize that, everything is being controlled, not just for population control, but people who are more likely to cause rebellions, they can't have kids. That. Ugh.
Well, the only question is if the sheriff, there's a two-part question. Okay. Is the sheriff a constitutionalist? And will he give up
floor rights?
Will he give up on his constitutional values to just put things in favor of his leader, Mayor Juliette? When the rubber hits the road, what do they really care about?
Oh boy, Billings is such a sap. We'll get to him in a minute, but I want to ask you about, they're all Juliet's friends who feel like they're like emotionally hurt that their friend has amnesia. And then there's Knox who's like, "Hey, do you want me to yell at Juliette because she doesn't remember us because she has amnesia?" There's the guy you like to call Silo Ren, Deputy Hank, who's like, "Yeah, me and your dad kind of were going to blow up the stairs and I dropped the timer, and so your dad said, 'I'll stay here and die.'"
Well, I mean, listen, I know how you like to big up Deputy Hank, but
You
he
called him
did not.
Silo Ren, not me.
He did. I just want to. You said something that was slightly false there. You said that he said he dropped it. He said he did not indicate his culpability in the loss of that.
He said, "I dropped it. Now, Juliet, time to take your vitamins." Whoops. And then there's Shirley. Shirley, like,
Oh.
was a current kid friend to Juliet. They've been friends for decades, and
Hmm.
she's really hurt that zombie Jules doesn't remember her. What do you think, Kev?
Well, this goes in concert with how long are people going to follow her or think she's mayor?
Right.
Obviously, the Sims just decided, what would be great is if we install this she's a great puppet figure for
Yeah.
us to just do whatever the F we want.
Right. And why not, so many characters got killed in the first season, especially. And if you just could have given them forget everything drugs, why not just do that? Why kill them? You need people to run the silo. And so, interesting idea. Now, there is a positive for the Juliet amnesia storyline, Catfish. Somebody's trying to get to her. Somebody put a message in her soup. Want to know the truth? Leave your bowl upside down, go to the marketplace, burn this note. So
It's a
Juliet,
good thing she hated that soup. And that's another unexplained thing. Why is she only getting a soup? And why does she hate soup so much? And because they put in these big
I
old
hate,
pills. Bubba, at first, when I
yeah.
saw the big pill in there, I thought, oh, so that's how they're giving her double the medicine, just these huge ass pills. But I like maybe they should have dissolved them instead of just leaving them in there.
No, a big capsule like that works the best. Well, Catfish, are you excited? I think I'm excited because to me that implies we're not going to suffer through this amnesia storyline too long. In fact, if it's still a thing in episode 3, I'd be shocked at this point now. So that's my
All
maybe
right.
hopium going through, but that's my hope. Do you want to talk
All right.
about
I
the?
mean, that would be great because, again, it doesn't need to last too long because the
No.
fact is the Sims have so much power now that she's going to have to keep pretending that she doesn't know anything while plotting with all these different people. So that will provide some well-needed intrigue in this storyline.
Catfish, do you want to talk about the outsiders? All we know that Patrick Kennedy is hiding from the cops. It's implied that these radicals are kind of the followers of Patrick Kennedy. They're called outsiders, so it's never said, but I assume because at the end of last season, Patrick Kennedy was leading a group of people saying, "Let's go out. The screen is a lie. We want that." The outsiders are called that because they want to go out. They stole a helmet from IT and they're hanging banners that say, the thing is a lie. Any thoughts about this? And is it really dangerous? It is very dangerous for the silo to have a bunch of idiots thinking, "Hey, we can go outside." I mean, this is something they've got to tamp down on. Forget the evil algorithm. The heroes need to stop the outsiders too.
Well, I mean, this is again, to me, it seems like you kind of kill two birds with one stone, right? You let the outsiders go out, then you can let more people have babies, and then you get rid of the people who are causing trouble.
Did the outsiders not see Juliet held up a message that said, "Not safe, do not come outside"? Like the outsiders were I'm pretty sure, in the cafeteria when she held it up, but they still want to go outside. This is very, very suspicious. Probably
All right.
to me, the
Mm-hmm.
least interesting story is more new characters in Silo 18. And maybe that's good because it feels like this is 10,000 people in a silo and we maybe don't even know 10 of them. So it's good that they're introducing new characters, but boy, a completely new storyline where, okay, A character we know, Walker, she's not around. Carla, she's not around. Lukas, he's missing. And we've got this, mines versus supply. We've got a new character who, because Carla wants to retire, a new character called Orla Kent, who's young 26-year-old head of supply. And then there's Ed the miner, who says these mines are 300 years old. And listen, the mine collapsed. That wasn't an accident. Listen.
Now, here's my question to you when you say
Yeah.
these are new characters.
Yeah.
And again, this is just going to show how much I've forgotten about the show.
Sure.
When I saw that guy, I recognized him. Did I
really?
recognize him from? So I didn't recognize him from this show. He's worked a lot. I thought when I saw him, I was like, okay, he's not new. He's been in the show before.
I don't remember him. Now Lukas did get sent down to the mine, so it's possible. I mean, and we're talking like possible that he was there when Lukas was in the mines. We've never actually seen the mines in the show, but I would say it's possible he was in it. I'm going to fact check this before. What do you recognize this actor from?
God, I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, he's always kind of this kind of grumbly, kind of grungy dude.
Okay, his character once again is Ed. What is his character's name? Ed Harwood. And no, this is the very first episode. According to IMDb, this is the very first episode he ever appeared in.
All right, so there you go. His face is so familiar. I was suckered into believing that he'd been there before. Okay, so yeah, so now we have a new conflict.
Yeah,
that is going to tie in at some point in a very important way.
We hope it ties in an important way. They're like stuff. This is interesting. Orla Kent, this new 26-year-old head of supply, she went to the mayor. She didn't go to Sheriff Billings. She said, "Listen, critical supply has been hit. People are stealing things." So this, to me, that's very important. If you want to live in this silo for however many years you're supposed to live in it, people stealing stuff from critical supply, that's not good. And then it's like, how are they? The Orla believes, she tells her boyfriend, and I think this boyfriend is no good. She tells her boyfriend, I think they're using this new pulley system, which is against the pack. Hey, we're going to break the rules of the pack.
Finally.
Because we don't have any stairs, we're going to have this pulley system to steal it. What do you think, Catfish? Does this storyline intrigue you, or are you like me really questioning what kind of payoff this is going to have?
I was more excited by the pulley lines. Forever, I've been talking about like, why don't we have any freaking elevators in this goddamn thing? Or even just emergency stairs. We've seen emergency ladders behind the scenes. So yeah, the pulley system is necessary. So much better. But you know what? Just like AI, I feel like this is going to put some of these runners out of work.
That goes against the pact. How could you be for a pulley system?
I'm for a pulley system. Look, all you got to do is you can need a little retraining, right? The guys who were runners before,
okay, sure,
they were working on their legs. Now they got to work on their arms because they're going to be doing the pulleying.
I got boots older than your pulley system. So do I.
Oh my God.
Hey, Catfish, that's the episode. Anything else you want to say about Silo 18 activities?
No, I just look, I don't know how many. Do we know that they plan? How many seasons are they planning for this show?
Remember, Catfish, it's 4 seasons. They've already filmed the 4th season.
So does that mean we're gonna have to wait forever for it, or they're gonna come out at a regular time?
They have not
slow horses.
They have not announced it. I would assume it is going to come out next year, possibly next year at this time. Even though originally Silo came out kind of in the winter, but because it's been 18 months since season 2, because they've already filmed it, there's no way it's going to be 18 months for season 4.
All right. Well, I don't think that I ever read the last book. But my question to you is... Did
you read the second book? Did you read the second book?
No, I did not read the second book. I read the first book.
Okay.
So my question to you is, do we need to dilly-dally too much? Don't we have enough story that we can tell in the next 2 seasons?
I think we do. That's a great question. Listeners, we've already on YouTube and on audio podcasts released our book versus show spoiler talk. This is unspoiler when I say they've certainly got enough. They've got enough that they could make a these two seasons tight and kind of action packed and have a good pulse. Obviously, at least in Silo 18, I think they are not. They didn't start with one, but that just means they want to ramp up. Like season 2 started really slow. The title of our podcast at the beginning of season 2 was, solid start or slow start. And that just seems to be what these showrunners like doing, is slow starting. And then, once we finally get to 9 and 10, we're going to be like, oh, wow, this is the good stuff we've been waiting for. That's my assumption.
All right. All right. Well, Bubba, let's move to the next thing, which we have, which is, as always, our Silo Slam. Now, I didn't get any, I didn't get very many Silo Slams here. My only one, and I don't have the whole thing, was when the mining guy got dissed by the new supply girl for not actually working anymore. He's like, "You're so young," and she's like, "Yeah, but I still can do my job."
Hey, hey now, hurtful. Like this guy, he looks old enough to retire, doesn't he? I mean, but he's been working.
There's no retiring. There's no retiring in the silos, Bubba.
Oh my God. Well, he's upset because he wanted his daughter, Glenda, to get the job, but instead Glenda doesn't work there anymore. And it's because Orla thought she was stealing. And you're right, they could have had some nice disses. Instead of being like, when he said, "I've got boots older than you," she should have said, "Yeah, I can smell them," giving him a real good silo slam. Instead, she's like, "Oh, well, you know what? I do too. Because I got my boots from my mom who worked in the mines for 40 years. Like, Orla, we love you, but, you don't have to drop your LinkedIn profile right now. We understand it.
Well, I would have said, who has boots that are younger than yours? Do we have shoemakers here?
It's me, Jim the cobbler.
I'll make you new shoes for those, because I heard Juliette wore them.
There you go. I thought the algorithm, he didn't have any great lines, but he was kind of talking smack. I thought it was real interesting that the algorithm was kind of talking about their personal feelings. He says, "That worries me." And I'm like, "Hal 9000, when you say that worries me, that worries me."
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree with that. Bubba?
Yeah.
Bang the gavel.
Bang, 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 bang. Guys, it is time for our judicial debate. This is where Catfish and I go to Judge Sims and we argue in front of Judge Sims a question about the show. And so here we go. This week's question, Catfish, is what about the TV show Silo would you forget if they could give you the pills? And to me, it's still, everybody heard, if you're a longtime listener, I apologize. You've heard all my rants. For our new listeners, probably my biggest rant was about the mess of the murder mystery of season 1. I kind of thought it was a pointless, stupid mystery. In the book, it really didn't become a mystery because the bad guys, Bernard and Sims, the evil guys, kind of covered it well. And so nobody thought Deputy Marnes's death was a big deal. The show turned it into a murder mystery that went over several episodes. The solution to it was so illogical that even Juliette, with the forget-me-now pills, should have thought to herself, boy, this really doesn't make any logical sense. Of what was the guy's name? Trumbull? Doug Trumbull, I believe was his name. I hate it that much. So if I can have the forget-me-now pills, I'd forget that storyline of season 1, which was just delaying, and you could have trimmed all that out and the show still would have been fine. So that's, for me, that's what I would take with forget-me pills. What about you, Catfish?
Well, for me, Bubba, it would be in season 2, about half the stuff that happened in the other silo.
Oh boy, yeah,
there was some good stuff that happened in there. The new characters, we met the kids, but there was a lot of foofaron and doing the same thing twice.
Yes. Oh my God.
There's a lot of pussyfooting around over there.
100% agree. Listeners, we love you to get into the judicial debate. What do you think? What if you could forget anything from this show, even our silly criticism? If you want to forget that, tell us. But go down in those YouTube comments, tell us, give us a like, a hype. We want to subscribe. We want you on this journey. And we're going to give you guys a judicial debate that for next week, we want to hear your answers. And we'll read them on the Cleaning Podcast.
Wow.
Here at Double P Media, Double PHQ, Double P Podcast, we have a million names seemingly. We podcast on several Apple TV shows. We do Silo,
Right?
Severance, Slow
Yes.
Horses, Pluribus, Widow's Bay. We did the After Party, so I don't want to count that because that show has run its course. But of all these Apple TV shows, what do you think is the best Apple TV show? If you think it's Silo, hey, we want to hear it. Tell us
Well,
why.
no, I
Rank
would,
'em.
I would, yeah, no, that, not just the first.
Yeah.
We can only argue if you put them all, rank them from top to bottom,
Yeah,
and
let's hear it.
we'll rank ours.
Yeah.
But if you tell us before next week, then we can argue with your
Yeah.
choices as we argue with each other's.
Heck yeah. So please give us your answers to that future judicial debate. And we love your feedback, and we're going to prove it because we're going to go over your feedback right now. Catfish, Gen X Cat Mom, who's at All Mod Cons with a Z Cons on Blue Sky, gave this first episode 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, yeah.
She said, you can tell that the show got a budget upgrade.
Okay.
The show looks like money. The pacing was well done. That's what she thought, Catfish. She said it's a nice mix of the now and before times. Seeing daylight on the show was a pleasant contrast. I agree with that, Gen X Cat Mom. That's a good point. She believes it's good actors like always. But even though, she liked a lot of it, she only went 7.5 out of 10, because she said it didn't excite or thrill her at any point. It was kind of a paint by the numbers episode, and she gave it a shrug emoji, Catfish.
More along my lines, and also just encapsulating, instead of the entire feedback I gave up top, we should have just read this person's answer who did it in one sentence. Osmansky57 said, we need answers from Silo and not more questions every episode. Chef's kiss, Osmansky57. Chef's kiss.
Well, Catfish, here's another listener like you. Ancient Bear gave us the feedback and they wrote, my interest is seriously going to be challenged if they string the amnesia storyline along too long. Wow. Whoa.
Wow. And Glenn Campbell, presumably
like
not Stone Cowboy, says, I'm praying Juliette's amnesia isn't going to drag on, that it's cut in the bud quick, like Double C. They cut to the chase and the story moves on with a bit of pace.
Heck yeah. Zombie Italian, a longtime loyal listener. I love all Zombie Italian's feedback, and I had to cut some of it out of this because it belongs in the spoiler section that we'll have on episode 2. But Zombie Italian wrote, I've been so looking forward to Silo's return. The Juliette memory loss does seem like a bit of a stall. My best guess, hope, is that Juliette gets her memory back by episode 3. Hey, we have the same thoughts, Zombie Italian. They continue. Next one will hopefully have her stop taking the pills and her memories return by episode 3 so we can start moving the plot forward. There you go. I agree.
Love it. Jake the, with an A, Jake the 5th says, the cleaning is back. I was honestly a little frustrated at the beginning of episode 1.
Oh, no. Boy, we've had so many people a little tough on this episode. Our good, wonderful, top-tier loyal listener, Link Hogthrob, wrote, I see the Camille and Robert thing playing out with Robert halting Juliette's dosage against his wife and the overseer's wishes. Whoa, I love that. Ooh, that's
Whoa, I don't know about Robert. I was going to say earlier, I mean, like, if you could cut one thing out of this, it felt like Camille could have taken all of Camille and Robert's bits, I feel like.
That's true. Well,
anyway,
she has the power now, so yeah.
Right. But Tim's Retro Corner says, biggest disappointment for me was that they didn't drop episode 2 at the same time. Apple always does this when they're first showing something, they drop 2 on you, and then in later seasons, they dole it out. On the whole, though, Tim's Retro Corner loved it.
Oh, good.
Juliette's memory loss, I don't know where they're going with that, but it feels janky to me. More time wasting.
Oh, here we go.
And we made her marry while she was in a hospital throwaway line made me feel cheated of something. I'm intrigued by the Sims in the show, though.
Oh, man, Tim is always giving great feedback, and I agree 100% with Tim. The final bit of feedback we're going to read for this podcast is Philip Grosbake. I may be messing up your last name, Philip. But Philip wrote, I'm holding out until episode 2. So he hasn't even watched this episode. He says, I'm going to watch episode 1 and 2 together. Boy, that is somebody who knows what they're doing. Excellent work, Philip.
Oh, that is so good. All right. Well, Bubba,
Yeah.
we got to hurry up and tape episode 2 so that Philip can listen to both of these podcasts back to back.
Yeah.
Next week,
Yeah.
we'll be covering episode 2. It's all good.
All
Billings investigates a disappearance.
good.
Daniel Keene has a run-in with a reporter. Hopefully it's that hot one and he runs into her in the right way, if you know what I mean.
Hey, heck yeah.
My name is Catfish. You can hit me up at Instagram and Blue Sky at G to the man. That is GETOTHEMAN.
My name's Bubba. You can catch me on all social media at my handle, Fitten Trim. That's FITTENTRIM, Fit and Trim on all social media. And we check your feeds for our spoiler book podcast, but we're going to talk to you next time on
The Cleaning.
Man, that was the nicest 6 you've ever given.
Well, I mean, I consider myself a 6, so that's actually positive phrase.